Hi there. Thanks to all of you who wrote me some questions in response to my request and last video that I produced. So there's a particular question that I would really like to cover today. And the question is, hey Valerie, so we keep hearing from various teachers, such as Bruce Lipton, that the subconscious makes up about 90% and the conscious makes up about 10% of who we are. And wondering if I agree with that. So let me say this. I'm going to define subconsciously a little differently, and therefore I would not agree because I think that when most teachers talk about that, whatever is not conscious, they call everything else subconscious. But I'm actually going to define it a little differently, and I'm going to say that imagine that our subconscious is related to our human consciousness, but it's mostly related to the body and its instinct. So for instance, you are made up of all these beautiful cells who are in their own way conscious, but they are your autopilot, right? It's how you regulate your heart and how the heart beats on its own, and you breathe naturally on your own, and everything is a synchronistic, harmonious process within the body that is underneath the threshold of your conscious awareness, unless you tune in, right? But you aren't thinking about it consciously usually. So it's beneath the threshold of your consciousness. So I'm going to call that the subconscious. On the other hand, I think we all agree on, when we're being conscious, we are certainly being aware and thoughtful about what's happening. We do talk about a conscious world, conscious organizations today, and that means even more awake than usual, but that's kind of another topic, isn't it? But then, sometimes people call it the superconscious, and other people call that the spiritual realm. So what I would actually say is the superconscious is the largest part of who we really are, because at our basic level, we are this beautiful field of energy carrying information across multiple frequency domains, which simply means there's an array of vibrations that are traveling at different speeds. And so you could kind of say that, oh, that bandwidth is a relative speed, kind of like our physical dimension. We could call that one dimension is our physical dimension, but then the other dimensions are about other frequency bandwidths, and it's really a kaleidoscope of energy. But say that, really we are this beautiful field of energy across all these different dimensions, and most of them aren't within the body as we normally think about it. They are beyond the body. In psychology, we call that transpersonal. In theology, we call it spiritual, or our spirit, or our soul, and that all comprises the super consciousness. Now, what we are conscious of is whatever we tune in at the moment. So we can tune into our body and therefore become conscious of something that's normally subconscious, but we can also tune into other dimensions or realms or time periods, or even beyond time and space, as many have done in meditation or when they've had a near-death experience. And when we tune in there, we become conscious of something that's normally super conscious. But when you think of who we are really at our core this beautiful field of energy, this multi-dimensional array of energy. It's really a kaleidoscope. It's actually a hologram, and that's why as a hologram each part has access to the whole when it comes to this information. So it does allow us to tune in, but as far as who are we are really this fundamental wholeness that is also focused as a part that we call our body, our personality, our this physical person that I call Valerie, let's say. And so that's why it's the smaller percentage. What we're actually conscious of, what we're tuning into, is actually the smaller percentage. Now there's a second part to that question, and it's what is the best way for us to clear the subconscious of blocked emotions and unhealthy patterns of behavior. So there are many, many ways for us to do that. So at the subconscious level, this means that we might bring into our body, right? So beneath the threshold of our conscious experience, we might bring into our body these patterns of energy that are emotionally charged, and sometimes we do need to clear them. So we do need to clear them by becoming conscious of them usually, and certainly traditional talk therapy helps that, right? When we make something conscious, we can address it, we can process the energy and clear it that way. On the other hand, we can go straight to the energy. So there's many schools of working with energy, whether it's quantum touch or Barbara Brennan's method or Reiki or healing touch, clinical Qigong, many schools that work with energy. So what you're doing there is becoming more aware. You're tuning in consciously to what is the energy doing. And you will notice when the energy feels blocked or overheated or over cold, right? Is it too fast? Is it too slow? And you can kind of clear things then. So really, those are the two primary ways that we can clear. And I'll probably cover more of that independently in future videos. So thanks so much for your questions. I really appreciate it and look forward to answering more. Bye now.